Welcome to part 3 of the series Hope and Hypnosis. In this video, I will explain how the hypnotist creates the trance state. In the previous video, I explained the process of how we learn through association and identification, and how the conscious and subconscious parts of our mind interact with one another. Remember, the conscious mind is only 12% of our total mind power, and the subconscious is 88%. We said our subconscious mind holds all of the knowns that are part of our life script, and that our life script dictates our behavior a lot of the time, even though we are unaware that it is doing so. In order to work with the subconscious mind, the hypnotist must go through a series of steps that are designed to get the filter that allows information to access the conscious mind to recede into the background. This is done so that the critical factor of the mind will not be analyzing, critiquing, and interpreting the suggestions that are given by the hypnotist, and thereby interfering with the process of hypnosis. The critical factor is what gets in the way of changing the negative knowns in the life script. So the hypnotist has to get that part of the mind to be bypassed, and then stimulate the unconscious mind to take part in the process of hypnosis. How is this accomplished? By overloading the conscious, critical part of the mind with what hypnotists call message units. What is a message unit? In our daily lives, we are constantly bombarded with information. This information can come in the form of sounds, noises, and smells. Think of all the stimuli we are subjected to on a daily basis. We are stimulated by our environment. There are sounds, noises, and activities taking place all around us. We work in rooms that are lighted, that may be too hot or too cold. Our clothes may irritate us, smells may be intrusive, and we're constantly required to interact with technologies like computers and phones that radiate electromagnetic frequencies. To say nothing of the energies of the people that surround us that can affect our moods and emotional states. These bits of information in all of these forms are called message units. Message units stream in constantly all day long in all of the forms that I just noted, and in addition in the form of thoughts, feelings, and ideas. When we are overloaded with these message units, our critical mind, which acts like a filter, begins to break down, and there comes a point where it can't take in anymore. It can't process anymore. It's like a cup that overflows. The filter then opens up, and our mind becomes open and receptive. The critical factor is no longer analyzing, criticizing, or interpreting information. It just lets go because the overload triggers a fight-flight response to take place. I've already explained how during the fight-flight response we become hyper-suggestible. What happens at this time is that any negative knowns or positive knowns become much more readily accepted. Logic isn't being applied or reasoning, and the mind doesn't decide if it's going to accept the ideas or not. When the filter opens, the mind escapes into the hypnotic trance. This might sound like a sort of scary experience. In truth, we experience some level of the trance state on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, some people walk around in a state of perpetual hypnosis and have to be dehypnotized before we can work with them in hypnosis. How often do we slip into hypnotic trance in our lives without even being aware of it? How many times have you driven home without remembering the drive? Your mind is off somewhere else. This is basically what the trance state of hypnosis entails. The state can be light or it can be deep. When we go to a movie theater to see a film, the same thing is happening. We get into the movie and suspend our critical factor. We aren't constantly saying to ourselves, that couldn't happen, that isn't real, that is not possible. No, the people around us fade away, the screen is huge, it's loud with bright colors, and we allow ourselves to become suggestible to the information that's being presented, even though our conscious mind knows it's not real. When we daydream, we also enter into the trance state. And as a matter of fact, all advertising is about influencing people during this hypnotic state. That's why there's so many advertisements on TV and in movies that you see on TV. So you see, going into trance isn't something scary at all. As a matter of fact, becoming aware of this state can become very helpful. We can use this state to create change in our lives. We can open up a pathway into our subconscious mind and take charge of our life script. We can replace the negative knowns with positive ones, all through the power of hypnosis.